And Jannik on his face right now. Gary, can he get away from this?
He should. I think he's had enough of a clue here. Barry Hearn's not the sort of player to call to bluff. And even if he gives Barry Hearn a 10-jack or a queen-jack for a good shot straight, the queen's got to have helped him. So the only thing that he can convince himself here is that Barry's got another 9 with him, and the kicker's now irrelevant. And that's basically the problem. He could convince himself for an excuse to call. And that looks like what he's done.
He's raced all in. Something rotten in Denmark because Jannik Rang is about to get sent skyward.
What's your kicker? Mine.
Barry Hearn thinks they both have 3 kings, but it's not true. Jannik Rang drawing dead, and Baza about to take the bounty here.
That's bad clean.
Rang could never get helped. River card coming, but it is immaterial.
Lightning sometimes strikes.
Full house for Barry Hearn, kings full of queens, and the 23-year-old,
I know you didn't have that part.
who made a good report for himself here, could not do any better than 4th.
That's the end of our internet qualifiers. We're just down to the 2 professionals and our celebrity qualifier. Bit of a shame. Up until that point, I don't think he did much wrong. But
First time on television. Jannik may have gained some valuable experience, but we've played 32 hands.
I wasn't going to lay it down.
And that massive pot in the middle was 2 aces for Barry King. Recently, though, it's the 3rd biggest pot we've played.
I don't think it was bad luck. I played bad in the last hand. I don't know what I did. But he got aces 2 times, and then, I figured him for getting a 9 on the last hand, and then in the end I had to go all in because otherwise he was going to take me out later. He was too good.
It's only been 39 hands, but Pound has been dry all night. McCrearyck's found plenty of aces, and this one's on the button. See if he chooses to raise. That would be the same play, wouldn't it?
absolutely.
But Hearn with a big hand in the big blind.
Yeah, 3-handed, the king 10's going to look pretty big if McCrearyck decides to get a little bit busy on the big blind. And once again, for probably the 37th out of the 39 hands, poor Graham Pound sitting there with the worst hand.
McCrearyck didn't know the action was on him, but now he'll catch up in a hurry. He says, fine, raise it. You want me to bet? I will. 20,000 is the play.
I think they're going to regret having woke him up, actually. I think they'd have preferred him when he was sleeping.
And Pound's cards aren't too ugly, but 20,000 too much out of his stack here, Gary, or not?
It would be for me, but maybe he's decided he needs to make a stand at some point.
Call.
Hearn calling as well. This pot is big. 60,000 if it's a dime. Everybody's got a prayer, but McCrearyck the best hand with the ace. Here's the flop.
Finally a little bit of luck for Graham Pound. He's not going to mess around. The chips are going in the middle. I finally hit something. Hallelujah. Here's my chips. Let's see if Barry Hearns decides he wants to try and take him out with his good shot and overcard. Nope, he's letting him have it.
McCrearyck's got bottom pair, top kicker, but this bet from Graham Pound was big enough to chase all dwellers. Graham's bet about 40,000, and it is enough to take this pot down. As you said, Gary, first bit of well-timed luck that the Shropshire man has had. But look at this. He's hung around and now has put himself in a good position to win this tournament.
Absolutely. You don't want Graham Pound getting a few chips. He's the one man, I think, that will be able to outplay Barry Hearn. So we could be heading for a really tough 3-handed game here. You've got the wow card, Mr. John McCrearyck, who could be putting, you know, his chips in with anything, and quite often getting lucky or getting to bully them out. Graham Pound, the tournament professional, played a very, very solid game, had absolutely no luck up until now, and still managed to get up to 135,000. And Barry Hearn, absolutely solid, hit
Pass.
everything. Always had the good hand at just the right time, and that's managed to get him into 360,000.
Chicken all of a sudden, Dad.
Pass, put a pony in the pot. That's the first uncontested hand we've seen for a long time. McCrearick, nobody wanted to take him on, so push the button, post the blinds. It's been 39 hands, and Hearn encroaching on the other two with over 50% of the chips. Marina shuffling them up, and we'll come 2 around. Those are the chips of John McCrearick. He was way ahead early and has drifted back now to 3rd position, but he's not too short as to be out of it here. And with a king-jack, we may get some action.
Call. Pass.
Playing it cagey.
I'd be embarrassed if
I really would like to see John McCrearick actually bringing these hands in for a raise. It's a big hand, 3-handed king-jack, and in the previous heat he was playing much more aggressive. And
Why is it so important to bring hands in for a raise?
well, at the moment there's an awful lot of money in the middle. That 25,000 is actually going to improve his stack nicely, and if he doesn't manage to pick it up, if he gives Barry a chance to either bluff him out of it or to steal the pots or to actually improve against him, he's lost a chance to pick up those chips. So
Well, that may be what's just happened, because Barry Hearn with 3 spades on board has picked up a flush draw.
15,000.
It's not the best hand. McCrearick's leading with the king, but there's no way he can call.
absolutely, and if John had have actually raised before the flop, even if Barry
Pass.
decides to call, Barry might not be quite so keen to take the lead on that kind of a flop if he's up against a pre-flop raiser, and I think he probably would have just picked up the pot before the flop anyway. So that's probably 25,000 that's slipped through his fingers for John McCrearick.
Give the money to Hearn. He got in cheap and took the sausage.
That is something that Barry's actually done very good. Whenever a flop's come down that he's got a slight piece of, or if he just thinks no one else has got any of, he hasn't been afraid to actually put his chips in there, and that's paid him quite well. That, and you know, he's had some monster hands and he's actually got the lot. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the way he's played.
370,000 worth. Barry Hearn right now making a statement to the poker world, but it's pound on the button with the ace, and Gary, I believe he knows what he wants to do with them.
Absolutely, he's not afraid to stick in a raise with his ace. He's not going to give any free cards to people to try and improve. If someone wants to call me from
Raise to
behind, good
30,000.
luck to them.
30,000 is a triple the
Call.
bet. And Barry Hearn's picked up the king-queen suited. Very attractive. He'll look at this flop. McCrearick outside, and we are head up. Anybody's pot.
10. It's 20. 10,000 more, please.
Beg your pardon.
Thank you.
Just trying to get the
Well,
edge.
that's one way to get a cheap flop. Barry Hearn miscounting the raise. But there is 70,000 in this pot right now. And that's the world's fair for Barry Hearn.
He's got to love that flop, and he's also managed to do the next best thing. He's managed to find a little bit for Graham to get involved in.
I'm all in.
Oh no! Graham Pound all in with the 2 4s. Barry Hearn wouldn't fold this hand with your money. 2 kings and a 4 club flush draw, and Graham Pound on his face here.
Well, he moved his cards.
Yes,
like
he's
that.
in serious
He moved
danger
his
here. He's
cards
got
around, which is normally
just
that.
2 4s and 2 aces to improve here. He can't even hit the ace of clubs. So he's a real underdog, probably about an 8 or 9 to 1 underdog, and that's not going to help.
4 cards in the deck will still keep Graham Pound in this tournament, but he's ready to stand because Barry Hearn has trapped him,
Ace will do it, isn't it?
and trapped him good.
No?
Only card that beats me is a 4. Ace or 4 win.
It's an ace, but it's the wrong ace. Nut flush for Barry Hearn.
Sorry, mate.
Graham Pound knew he wanted to see the ace, but it was not the club.
Hold on.
And that has taken him out of this tournament. We are head up. Gary Jones, Pound could have done no different. He played a great game, just got edged.
Absolutely. He's basically had one of those games where you just can't do anything. you can't do anything in the tournament. He's had no hands. He's played a great game for trying to steal. He finally catches half a hand with his pre-flop raise.
Yes.
Walks into Barry Hearn with an absolute monster, which seems to be a bit of a theme in this tournament.
Look at that one more time. Barry Hearn was best from the flop with the 2 kings, better on the turn with the kings and queens, and when the ace came on the river, it made everybody something. But in the end, 5 clubs, that's an ace flush. That'll top grand pounds, 2 pair only.
It looked like I struck lucky at the end, but I knew what the outs were and what Barry obviously didn't notice it. And I just felt I was going to